I'm good. Apologies, everybody, for that. We had a small hiccup in the broadcast, which put it down for just a second. We are back live here. I'm sorry, we didn't see too much change. Riese Mueller did not improve. Ranieri did not improve. Yunt went back. Adrian McNaughton did slip himself up a bit as Davis comes across the line. Davis did not improve his time, but that is going to be qualifying. As we now, I'll just show you who improved. David Yunt did not improve. McNaughton, in his last-ditch effort, managed to pull himself up to 7th position with a 124.925. So perhaps he can have a bit more luck from the 9th position as opposed to pole in this race. There'll be lots of action, I'm sure, as we head forward. Chris Butcher now completing his final lap. Can he improve? I think it's one of the last drivers to complete a lap. Chris Butcher coming across the line. He's currently 9th. Can he move forward? No, he does not. So, Chris Butcher, he improves his time, does not. It's amazing. You see people improving their times, but they're not moving forward in the grid. So, we're going to be back in just a second. Again, apologies for the delay there, the drop in the broadcast. We should be good to go now, right to the end. Grab some popcorn and a drink, and we will be back in a moment for the second race here in the third round. Be right back.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be #1 on the road.
Hello, everybody. We are back live from Croft for the third round of the Virtual Super Tours. The first race is in the books, and this is the live standings as they stand. So as with the results from the first race here in the third round, this is where we lie. Toby Davis with a 26-point gap over Robert Wiesemuller. John Monroe, who is absent from this event, hasn't lost as many points as he would have thought so far. Davis not having the dominant performance that he's been putting in here in the Virtual Super Tours in that first race. Matt Richards, 4th, who is also absent. Lewis McGlade making up some ground in the 5th position. Alexander Lauritsen in 6th. Matazewski, 7th. Gazella, 8th. Dawei Tapper with a fantastic run. Can't say enough about that drive from him in 9th and Yunt in 10th. So we're going to go right back into checking out where everyone's lined up here for this second race here. So in case you weren't aware, it's 35 laps. We're going to be doing a mandatory pit stop in this race as well. There is generally cars are going to be taking fronts, but we have our pole sitter is Toby Davis at a 124.632, followed by Emmanuel Gazella. So the THR walk rivalry continues here. So it goes THR walk, THR walk. And in 5th place, I believe, is Lewis McGlade in Smile Power. So Davis, Gazella, Wiesemuller, Ranieri, Lewis McGlade, David Yunt in 6th, Adrian McNaughton in 7th, Waring in 8th, 9th is Chris Butcher, 10th is Reese Gardner. Reese Gardner, after having a great qualifying in the first race here, not the best here in the open qualifying, but Lauritsen in 11th, Thomas Matazewski 12th, Pedro Amaral in 13th, Mike Bell 14th, Dawei Tapper. So again, Tapper not the best at qualifying. Maybe just racecraft is proving to be his strong point here. But James Kirk is in 16th, David Carter in 17th, Alexander Vanderwood in 18th, 19th is Tobias Olsen. Rob Mason in 20th. Mate Orban in 21st. 22nd is Jonathan Ockerglint. Tomasz Demelin is in 23rd. Stefan Kosabek, 23rd. Steve Travers is in 25th. Marcello Tocco is in 26th. Scott Sovic, 27th. Richard Coxon in 28th. Marco Vanderbroek is in 29th. Tim Weller is 30th. 31st, Jonathan Moderum. Dylan Canton, 32nd. And Tom Novi is the final running car in 33rd. So we have 33 cars lining up here for the second race in this third round. Some great action happening. The reason for the drop in the broadcast also was we were running at a disk space on the broadcast server because we've been putting on a lot of high quality broadcasts. So it's a positive and it's also a negative because it dropped for just a second there. But we're always working towards avoiding these issues. So we have warm-up is completed. We'll be right back in a second while we do the warm-up lap for the second race. So hold tight.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Hello everybody, we are back live from Croft for the third round of the Virtual Super Tours. While these cars are completing their formation lap, I'll quickly give you a show here of what we've got coming up. The Virtual Carrera Cup is up on the screen there. This is the calendar, and the next race is coming up this Saturday, live from Adelaide. Siggy had just won his first race at Simmons Plains in the first race. So race one of that, the last round, was Siggy. We have Ross McGregor was the winner of race two. Kind of one thing I've always known about Ross McGregor and the leagues I've commentated on with him racing is that he's just kind of a silent assassin. Comes in and takes the win when you're not expecting it, and that's what he did there in the second race of the last round of the Virtual Carrera Cup. Heinemann is no longer the number one ranked driver based on the ELO ranking system that we have at touringproseries.com/rank. That was now, the top spot belongs to Jack Keithley, who has just slid ahead of him. So we are, always exciting stuff going on racing this weekend. Definitely, if you've got the time, make sure you are there to watch that live on Saturday, as it is going to be a fantastic race. I'm hoping that I'm available on Saturday to possibly join in the booth with the guys there, just because it's been exciting stuff. It's been really, really exciting stuff. At 6 p.m. GMT, we'll be live on touringproseries.com/broadcast, and it will all be posted through our Facebook page and all the usual places. So be sure to mark that down in your calendar, and do not plan to go anywhere because there's nowhere better to be. So we're back here, and we're now lining up as you see Toby Davis taking the first spot here. Also, just a quick point or two as well. If you're not going to be available at your computer, be sure to get the Twitch app, because the Twitch app is actually fantastic. It lines up the broadcast for you, and it actually sends you notifications. There's notifications that the streams are up. So let's get back to what we have at hand. We have red lights going up. We're waiting for them to go out to start the second race here from Croft, and it's green. Away Toby Davis goes from the pole position with Emmanuel Gazella trying to get down the inside, headed into turn one. A great shot as they head into turn one. Davis on the outside. Gazella trying to squeeze the inside. They're going to slot in. Davis taking the lead. As we look back, the cars all screaming through there. Gazella followed by Riesemuller, followed by Ranieri. So THR walk, THR walk. It looks like a bit of a double-decker sandwich here. Davis dropping a wheel, but still carrying away as he is pulling away quite a bit from that group there, as you've got Ranieri now with Riesemuller on trying down the outside, but Ranieri's going to try to take advantage as he comes across, just squeezing in front of Riesemuller. Ranieri now up to the third position on his teammate's bumper. Gazella with Davis leading. This is a fairly, looked like everyone got away fairly clean. Ranieri clean, Riesemuller clean, McGlade clean start, Waring clean, Yunt, McNaughton, Butcher, Matizewski, Bell, Lortzen. Nothing out of whack here, what it seems up at the front. I think maybe all the drivers are just considering that this is a longer race. As we look just ahead, Butcher or Riesemuller trying to squeeze on Ranieri early on. Lewis McGlade all over the back of Riesemuller. Ranieri going defensive already, as you can see just ahead. It causes a bit of a pileup, and that causes Riesemuller to have to go defensive as Riesemuller dives down to the inside, trying to defend a little bit right up to the pit wall. McGlade still has a run. Riesemuller with, Waring, my apologies. Waring, so to the outside, gets defensive, blocks that line, stops the run of Waring coming out of that final corner. Riesemuller getting back in some composure here. Davis pulling a little bit, quite a gap actually already after just one lap. 1.6 seconds. Ranieri is behind Toby Davis early on. As down the inside, it looks like Robert Riesemuller down the inside of Gazella, because Ranieri has moved up to the second position. Gazella was crossed over, and Gazella goes back to the third position. But Riesemuller tries a pretty bold move, which got him a little out of position and allowed Gazella to just slot right back in. This is on board with Riesemuller as he looks up forward to the third position driver of Emmanuel Gazella for Walk Racing. Riesemuller had a dominant performance in race one. And he actually was untouched pretty well he was untouched the entire race. Pretty well leading wire to wire. Riesemuller clearly looks like he wants to get by soon, but this is what it looks like ahead, and this is what it looks like behind, as I think he gets a little nudge from Andrew Waring. Gets a little bit hasty through the final corner. Waring goes through into the fourth position ahead of Robert Riesemuller. Riesemuller will not like that. That was a bit of I think there was a bit of contact there, because Riesemuller was online as Riesemuller looks down the inside into turn one. Not quite going to do it. Waring is using all the curb. Riesemuller is going to have to just wait for Waring to get a little out of shape here. Waring actually pulling a bit of a gap. So Waring, Riesemuller sliding down a little bit back to the fifth position. McGlade, fifth. Yunt, seventh. McNaughton in eighth. Butcher, ninth. Thomas Matizewski, 10th. Little more spread out here, it seems, like just to get this race started, as opposed to that crazy action we had kind of starting off in the sprint race. But what we will see as the race progresses here is we're going to see, as tires start to go off, people will change their strategies. Certain people will lose their pace and have to start going defensive, like we saw from Delway Tapper early on, or later on in the first race of this event. So on board with McNaughton as Butcher's trying to find a way by. Everything is kind of just got into a nice stream of cars, as we can see. No one seems to be darting out. Lewis McGlade is a little defensive there. With David Yunt, Riesemuller just ahead. Fastest lap, a 1:25.2 with fuel, full fuel. Waring fastest lap, just a touch faster than Toby Davis. So Andrew Waring setting a fast lap early on here in this second race. We'll hop on board as we see, because I saw Gazella get off there, but Gazella going wide. Waring trying to take advantage, but it looked like he got a little bit hung up on the curb. Waring has just set the fastest lap of the race here as he's trying to chase down Emmanuel Gazella and make a move. And Waring does not wait to make moves. He is very, very on it. He sees an opening and he goes for it. But it also is kind of ties in with the inconsistency with finishes. But aggressiveness can win races. They also can give you a lot of DNFs. Waring on the back of Gazella. Wiesenmuller has closed on the back of Waring. Wiesenmuller will be anxious to get back by Waring, who, we didn't see it on the broadcast, but I have a feeling that it might have been an ill-gotten position in the final turn was how Waring got by. It looked like Wiesenmuller was a little offline when, it looks like possibly a little bit of contact there as Waring down the inside. Robert Wiesenmuller goes through on, or tries to go through on Andrew Waring. I'm going to hop on board. We're going to go back to a replay of this because I think Waring, or Wiesenmuller, got a little bit hasty as he gets into the back of Waring under braking. Wiesenmuller is trying to find a move as he dives down the inside. Not going to make it happen there because the car is going to run up wide, and Waring carries on through for that position. So perhaps trying to get a little bit of retribution, and it puts himself though in harm's way because it's now a drop out off the back of Waring, and is also Lewis McGlade has closed in on the back of him with David Yunt on the back. So this train here is close up to the back of Wiesenmuller. We're going to do a quick run through at the 5th lap here. As I run through, you've got Yunt in 7th, McNaughton 8th, Butcher in 9th, Mataszewski 10th, Lauritsen 11th, Gardner 12th, Mike Bell 13th, Tobias Olsen 14th, Dawei Tapper 15th, Alexander Vandervoort in 16th, David Carter 17th, James Kirk 18th, 19th is Pedro Amaral. As we just see James Kirk, we just caught that. What happened with James Kirk? Let's get on board here and see what happened. James Kirk using a bit of curb, gets a little wide, and under braking. Oh, what happens here? Oh, he sees a smoke up front, and he just gets into the braking with 2 wheels on the grass and loses it. So that is the end of his race. Toby Davis leading. Fastest lap goes to Andrew Waring. Again, besting his fastest lap already at the 6th lap here in this race. Things have spread out a little bit more as we now see just David Yunt dropping a wheel. A little bit of composure failure there as David Yunt drops a wheel and loses the position to Adrian McNaughton, who goes from 8th to 7th. Adrian McNaughton up to 7th with Yunt dropping a wheel. Chris Butcher 9th. I think there's a tight battle happening right here with Tobias Olsen and Dawei Tapper, or just a little bit back. We've got these guys. There's a few close battles, but I don't think you see quite the aggressiveness as we did in the sprint race because of the fact that this is a longer race. They have more time. There's more going on. Andrew Waring. That is Andrew Waring off. Andrew Waring is off. Let's see if we can catch what happened with Andrew Waring. Andrew Waring. This is. Let's pull this back here. Oh, is Andrew Waring? You know what? Oh, Andrew Waring is not gone. It was a small glitch in the timing bug. Panic is over. Everyone can settle down at home. Andrew Waring is still in 4th position. He just looked like he was gone. So my mistake. I apologize. No need to get excited. But it is also status quo. So as this race is spread out quite a bit more, we're going to just quickly run through a little bit further, see if we can find ourselves a good battle to follow along with. Adrian McNaughton has Yunt on his 6, but Adrian McNaughton got the spot when David Yunt dropped the wheel and went wide. So McNaughton is going to have a mirror full, as we see in the background. I don't think that one's lagged. That is Alexander Lauritsen making a mistake. Let's pull this back and see exactly what happened. This is in the braking zone here. Okay, so he just dropped the wheel off the side there. So not too bad of a mistake, but he still has lost 2 positions to Mike Bell and Chris Butcher. So Alexander Lortzen with a small error, losing 2 positions. So it can happen to anybody. Adrian McNaughton made one mistake in race 1, and it cost him a significant amount. Pole position to 19th. It will be a tough one, but those are the battle wounds that you pick up in any form of racing, whether it's simulation or real racing. So David Young does not seem to be close enough to attack here. As I say that, just ahead, things have tightened up a little bit. This is the battle for 7th position. Yunt in the slipstream of Adrian McNaughton. I think just ahead, though. I think we've got something brewing. And I was right. Lewis McGlade is off. I have a feeling there might have been some contact there. So let's get on board with Lewis McGlade. Pull this replay back and see exactly what has happened. So we're on board with Lewis McGlade. That's Andrew Waring just ahead. Oh, Andrew Waring gets up over the curb, gets a nudge, and Andrew Waring gets sent. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Not Andrew Waring. I'm just having a moment here. But Lewis McGlade gets into the back of him there, and it puts both of them in harm's way. So Lewis McGlade, that was Vanderbroek, a lap car, gets up over the curb and causes Lewis McGlade to drop back to the 8th position. So Lewis McGlade will not be happy that has happened, but it's unfortunate. Just got into that moment there. So Andrew Waring who did not disappear, who I did think, but it was a little bit of lag. Waring is in 4th. He's all over the back of Emmanuel Gazella. We've seen these guys fairly close this entire race. Andrew Waring closing. But now Wiesemuller has also caught the back of these guys. So, there's a few battles that are going to kind of play out here as the race goes on. There's not a ton of action that I'm seeing right now, but this is generally what you're going to see when there is pit stops. As I scroll through the field, you can actually see what I'm talking about. People are spread out a little bit more. The pace of each individual driver is a little different. It's a little more gap than it is in race 1. A little heavier fuel, so everyone's driving their car a little bit differently, and they also can handle the car a little bit differently because you can have a little more understeer, or a little more understeer, or a little more oversteer, depending on how you have set up the race car. But once these pit stops happen, you will see things kind of change because strategy comes into play. So I noticed one thing that is very interesting. Davis is being caught by Giuseppe Ranieri. 1.4 seconds is the gap. It was 2.1 the last lap. Davis must have made a mistake. It's 26.3 was his last lap. Giuseppe Ranieri taking a big chunk of time out of Toby Davis. But look at the battle. Oh, this battle is heated up big time. Wiesemuller is now on the back of this group here with Gazella leading. Waring in 4th. Wiesemuller in 5th. We have a pit window coming up between 12 and lap 23. It's a 35 lap race. There is a lot still to happen in this race. A lot of action to take place. Gazella is under extreme pressure right now from Waring on the back, but he has seen the nose of this car for the better part of this race here, the 10 laps that have already been completed. But also, Waring has Wiesemuller on his 6th, and Wiesemuller definitely will not be the most friendly with Waring after there's been a bit of contact between the two. So looking back, that just shows how tight it is through the final corner. Gazella still in 3rd, leading, starting the 11th lap. Waring is on his tail in the slipstream, headed into turn 1. Pit stops will be approaching. So this is where the race will change up. Waring gets a little bit loose through turn 1, gets a little bit of a wiggle, and that allows Wiesemuller to have a potential look coming through the next corners here. Waring showing a little bit of inconsistency when he's close, when he's close starting the lap. He's now lost the gap and has to push to get back there. So Waring needs to find that consistency in his driving. Was that Giuseppe Ranieri? I think made a mistake. Giuseppe Ranieri, I think, dropped a slight wheel, which allowed that gap to close. We will see as they get to the next sector. The gap was 1.7 Are they closing the gap? Waring all over the back of Gazella. 1.6 seconds to Davis from Ranieri. 3.3 to Davis from Gazella. Yeah, he did. He lost a significant amount of time. And that is why we've seen Ranieri get so close to this pack that is battling so hard. They're coming up to start the 12th lap, which means that pit stops are now going to be an option. The question is who's going to take what? Andrew Waring in 4th position on the back of Gazella. This is where we saw him again. We saw him this close to start the final, or this close to start the last lap that they just did. And it was Waring who made the mistake. This lap, it is Gazella. Waring is going to have to take advantage, but it looks like Gazella was able to profit from that mistake and just get the car positioned for a good run out of that corner. So Gazella making a small mistake, which allowed him to open up a little bit. So there's Waring must have made a small error in his driving, which did not allow him to capitalize on it, using a little too much curve in these front-wheel drive cars. Toby Davis running a 125.9 that last lap by, which is allowing him to keep a gap of 1.9 seconds over Giuseppe Ranieri. So as it stands, it is THR followed by Walk Racing, and then it's ARS or ASR, I believe, for Andrew Waring. Robert Wiesemuller in 5th. Wiesemuller is just menacing the back of Andrew Waring's car, as these two have no love lost between the two of them this race so far. So the question is who's going to pit when? We've already seen that pit stops early can allow you to, Matt Richards, for example, in the last race, in the last round, pitted early, managed to get some clean air, and got ahead of Toby Davis. So the gamble that you take with going early is that you're gambling that you might end up on track with someone who isn't quite the pace of you. Right now, for example, if Waring was to pit, he's running with guys that are similar pace. If he pits and gets out with guys that are, say, a half a second to a second a lap slower, it is going to affect him ultimately once the pit cycles have completed. Davis putting a screamer lap in at a 125.4, opening the gap up, which now leaves this group a significant way down. So Andrew Waring in 4th. This battle, this is a fantastic close battle we've got here, but I'm going to just pull back just a touch and see if anything else is going on. It doesn't look like it. So back to these guys here, because this is where when something is going to happen very shortly. I can just feel it as Waring squeezing the inside, letting Gazella know he's there and trying to force him into a mistake. Waring gets a little bit loose through the middle of that fast corner. 13th lap. The pit window is now open, so we're just waiting to see who is going to pit early. So we've got between 12 and 23, they can pit. They must pit and must take 2 tires. As down the inside looks Robert Wiesemuller into the final corner. Wiesemuller up on the curb, not going to do it. And that is Waring trying around the outside, not going to do it. Waring tried to squeeze on Gazella, but Gazella had a better run exiting that corner. Gazella holds the 3rd position. Wiesemuller remains in 5th. As they head into turn 1, Wiesemuller a little bit of a ways back. I would like to peel away from this to see what's going on just a little ways back, but this is the closest thing that is happening right now on track. And I have a feeling that something is just about to happen, as you've got Waring with a fantastic run, looking to the outside. Gazella holds the inside. Waring tries to hold the outside. It looks like he's run out of race room there. Gazella holds the position. Wiesemuller's going to have a great run now on the back of him. Wiesemuller menacing right on the back. Gazella still very, very close, just to the front of Waring as he loses a little bit exiting that corner. He's got the slipstream. Fast corner. Waring a little bit of a wiggle into the brake zone. Not going to be able to squeeze unless he can hold the power down here. Waring, Wiesemuller, Gazella, they are separated by a hair at the moment on the 14th lap here of 35. This is what touring car racing is all about right here. 3 cars that can run nose to tail, lap after lap after lap. Waring trying to find a way by, but this is going to leave him susceptible to the inside. No, he looks to the outside. Can he hold it? Waring tries to cross over on Gazella. Gazella makes his car very, very powerful and holding the apex of that corner and not allowing Waring to cross over. So these guys still cross the. They finished exactly where they started the lap. So as these guys are still going, I'm gonna just drop back a touch because I see Mataszewski, Lauritsen. This is broken up a little bit, and I don't see too tight anywhere back here. So we're gonna go back with these guys up the front here because we're gonna be seeing pit stops very, very shortly, and I do not want to miss. So we've got a number of DNFs so far: Tobias Olsen, Tim Weller, Richard Coxon, Marco Vanderbroek, Jonathan Monterem, and Tom Novi. But this is the battle that seems to be continuing. James Kirk is also retired as well. While these guys are battling, they're not losing on Ranieri, but Davis is pulling away from Ranieri because he's running consistent laps. This is what Davis does when he gets clean air. But it's funny because Wiesemuller did the same thing in the first race and is not able to match that pace, but I guess it must just be when you don't have the pressure of racing around you as they go through. Very good, very well done from the lap driver. Gazella gets a little bit wide there, trying to find a way through. Are they going to be able to? Is anyone going to pit early? Waring looks to the pits. Waring down to the pits. It looked like Robert Wiesemuller might follow him in. So this is what we were talking about. This is an early pit stop. This is what's called a cutback. I'm actually at a loss for words at the moment. Though, a loss for that word. But it is an undercut where you're undercutting your opponents on the pit stop. It's going to put you in a position where you have lesser tires at the end of the race. However, if you get clean air and you can lap consistently and fast without any traffic and without any impediments, it will put you ahead of the guy that you were racing with because he's running on older tires. So we will wait to see where Andrew Waring follows in. He comes out of the pits in 16th. So I see 3 cars ahead of him that, unless they pit very shortly, could possibly cause some impediment. Dawei Tapper, who had a great run in the first race, is just ahead in 15th. So we'll leave Andrew Waring for the moment and follow along with some other battles if we see any just ahead. But I think Robert Wiesemuller will be on the back of Gazella, as he is. Just as I thought, Robert Wiesemuller, who looked to be a little bit faster than Andrew Waring. This is the front nose of Robert Wiesemuller in 4th position on the backside of Emmanuel Gazella. So this is a THR walk battle here in the final corner. They're coming up to start the 17th lap. Is anyone going to take the pit stop? Wiesemuller into the pits. So he believes that Gazella is the slow driver in that train. As you can see, the gap has opened up to Ranieri. So maybe both Waring and Wiesemuller realized something and realized that they had to get in, that Gazella was causing too much of a slowdown. So I'm gonna go pop on board with Andrew Waring and see where he pops out. So this is on board with Andrew Waring as he's got Dawei Tapper just in front of him. Where is he going to slot in? This is Robert Wiesemuller. Robert Wiesemuller is out. And he's by! That is Andrew Waring keeping his position, but he opens a touch of a gap. So Wiesemuller not able to capitalize, and it shows the little bit of the gap that he opened up on the undercut. So the early pit stop has worked so far on holding position over Wiesemuller and gaining a touch of ground, but now he's got trouble in front of him with Tapper, who does not need to give up any racing room. It doesn't matter that he hasn't pitted. This is racing right here. Tapper is fighting hard for position as Waring is trying to force the issue, and this is going to impede his progress big time over Emmanuel Gazella, who has yet to pit. So I'm going to leave him for the moment because we're going to need to see when Emmanuel Gazella is going to enter the pits. He seems to have dropped his pace a fair amount. Reese Gardner has pitted. Long pit stop for Reese, so maybe some damage or made a small mistake in the pits. Gazella still holds on. The gap has closed a little bit to Davis, from Ranieri to Davis, so we're going to see where pit stops come in. If Ranieri was smart, he would pit now. Get those fresh tires, get a hot lap in with some fresh tires. That is what you need to do. If the gap's there and you don't think you're going to close it by yourself, between now and when you pit, get in there. Gazella is still running. David Yunt is in 4th. Mataszewski 5th. McNaughton is pitted. McGlade is pitted. McNaughton was up to 4th prior to pit stops. So this is allowing Waring to slot in. He is ahead of McNaughton as McNaughton has exited the pits. Alexander Vandervoort into the pits. So when is Gazella going to pit? This is the question. Gazella is still out there and still lapping. So as Gazella laps, this is the hard part. We need to know when is Gazella going to pit. So we have Matizevsky not pitted, Yunt not pitted, Lauritsen not pitted, Butcher and Amaral have not pitted as well. So the farthest up of the people who have pitted is Andrew Waring, who is now on the back of Pedro Amaral, as Waring looks down the inside on Amaral, side by side. Amaral's going to have the inside here. Waring's going to try a crossover. And Wiesemuller trying to take advantage of it as Wiesemuller is trying to squeeze. This is the look from Amaral's car. Waring is through. Wiesemuller's through. Amaral is into the pits. Renieri is into the pits. So where is Renieri going to come out? That is the question. We need to know where Renieri is going to come out. Renieri is... Davis has messed the pit stop up. Davis, 25 seconds in the pits. So Davis, after leading this entire race, has messed up his pit stop. Emmanuel Gazella messes his pit stop. Renieri leads the race. Waring is second. Wiesemuller is third. And McNaughton is fourth. McGlade goes into fifth. This is unbelievable. The race, this has totally changed the complexion of the race. We're beyond the halfway point. And Davis has done this the second time this season. He did it at Donington already this season once. Davis back to sixth position. 7.9 seconds back of Renieri. So Giuseppe Renieri is going to be happy that Christmas has come early and Davis has made a mistake. Santa Claus was very good to him. No lump of coal in the stocking this time around. He's been a good boy. Renieri has taken the lead of this race. However, Waring, Wiesemuller have closed significantly on the back. So Renieri now needs to buckle down and get some laps in here and not think about what's behind him. However, he may be struggling to deal with the imbalance of the car, because a lot of the differences in the car complexion in the second half are big, and we've seen drivers throughout this series already that are much faster over their competitors in the second part of the race because they can drive better with the imbalance. Gazella into the pits again. Oh, it's all gone wrong for Gazella. Gazella has had to pit a second time. What is what it looks like. Yes, it has. Yeah, I believe it. Alexander Lauritsen is in for a long pit stop. Pedro Amaral in for... So this race has caused a ton of heartache for a lot of drivers. This has been a bit of a mess up here for a lot of people. So teams are going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is they're doing wrong, as Davis, who led this entire race from the start, is back to 7th place. So Yunt is in 7th. Matizevsky in 8th. Gazella, after having such a great run to start this race, is in 9th, having to pit twice. Bell, 10th. Vandervoort is in 11th. Reese Gardner, 12th. Lauritsen, 13th. But I'm going to have to get back to these leaders here, guys, because this is the battle for the lead. These guys have closed significantly on Ranieri. After the pit stops, we are at the 20th lap. We have 15 to go. Who will take advantage of this? Waring has showed great problems. Waring sets a fast lap. Then Wiesemuller immediately follows it, followed by McNaughton. So could this possibly be McNaughton's retribution? The world, some redemption coming through for McNaughton after setting the pole in the first race, having a mistake happen. From my standpoint, McNaughton being 4.3 seconds back is not that big of a gap in my opinion. The reason being is these guys here are going to battle hard. Ranieri, we saw in the first race with Toby Davis, battled hard. And you know Ranieri is not going to give an inch. Waring is aggressive. Wiesemuller and Waring have history already in this race. So to me, a 4.3 second gap really seems like two bonehead moves to McNaughton possibly leading this race. So this is going to be a great closing to this race as we now are beyond the halfway point. We're at the 21st lap with 35 laps in this race. So as this trails out, I don't want to take too much time off of these guys, but Davis is 7 seconds back. So with my theory of, you know, 2 bonehead moves being that far back, it would actually be 4 bonehead moves before Davis would be close. So we could actually kind of take the timing scale, you know, forget the usual time of fastest lap to Lewis McGlade. This race could very well get very interesting in just a couple moves. I'm just in my head right now. I'm a little tied up for words because I'm kind of not planning, but thinking ahead of what could happen here, as you've got Ranieri, Waring, Wiesemuller, McNaughton, McGlade, and Davis all within an arm's length when this battle does get close enough to heat up, because Waring is not racing for the championship, and I don't believe, like, Waring is here to win, and Waring will go for the win. So will Wiesemuller, and so will Ranieri. These guys want to win, and that's what they do. They race hard for every position, and they're doing very well right now, running line astern, as Toby and Ryan would say. But Adrian McNaughton and Ranieri have never won. Waring has a win, but it was in the stewards room. It was virtual mini challenge at Velo Park that he had the race win given to him based on a penalty that was given. So I actually I'm actually getting a little bit giddy as to what could be on the horizon here, as Waring is right up on the back of Ranieri now, 4.4 of a second back. Can Waring hold the composure through the final stages of this race to get close enough to make a move, as they take 2 totally different lines through there? It's actually very contrasting, as Ranieri runs wide, avoids the curb, and carries a little more momentum, which allows him to open this gap, whereas Waring keeps tight, and it gets him close through, but exit, you can see that gap opens up. So that's a very interesting point on this racetrack, as these guys are that close. So Ranieri running a 1:25.2. Now that's not a slow lap. That is a fast lap post pit stop at this stage in the race. So that means that Waring and Wiesemuller are both lapping at that stage as well. But the funny part is that, as I said, that Toby Davis has lost time to the leaders. He's at 7.9 seconds. He's lost 9/10 of a second since he has got out on track, as he slides it sideways. So this is a mistake that is leading to frustration, and I know exactly what he's feeling, and Toby should know these things, and he's now 9.7 seconds back. So that is a very frustrating moment for Davis, as now Andrew Waring is being attacked by Robert Wiesemuller, and there's contact. They're side by side, where Wiesemuller forces the issue and takes the position away from Andrew Waring. I'm going to pop on board with Andrew Waring here. Let's pull this back here. Are we not going to get a replay on him? Oh, we're not, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, we're going to get a part of it. Yes, as they're side by side. Well, not really, sorry, excuse me. Wiesemuller goes for a very, very late move and does not get that position legitimately. He full-blown uses Waring to make the move by. Definitely will be viewed at by the stewards. Now, I don't know what happened prior into the race. That's not a legit move to make the race. You cannot push someone completely off the race line. So, anyways, that is for them to decide, the officials after the race. But Wiesemuller on track currently is in second, trying to close the gap to Ranieri, who did a 1:25.0 his last lap by, opening the gap to 1.8 seconds. That is a fantastic lap here in the post-pit stop era. But Waring will certainly not be happy with the move, and it is going to probably result in some more interesting fireworks, things like that. So Wiesemuller is going to be looking to potentially get his 11th race win. He's got his 10th race win after winning the first race here at Croft. So that was his 10th race win in his Touring Pro Series career. As you can see now, this is the hard part about being an aggressive driver, and I know we've been following this battle a lot, but this could be these guys could have potentially challenged for the win, as Ranieri is now gapping these guys. But by being aggressive, as both Wiesenmuller and Waring are and have been here, it has allowed their aggressiveness has opened that gap up. Waring will continue to try to go by, and it will allow that potential race win to slip. So Waring should, unless they continue to lose to Ranieri, he should just tuck in behind if they can close and try for that race win. They're battling for second right now. First sounds better. Anyways, we'll get off this for a little bit because we have followed it for far too long. Adrian McNaughton and Lewis McGlade, 4th and 5th. Toby Davis losing more ground. Is he missing a front splitter? No, he is not. My apologies. Toby Davis in 6th after leading the first half of this race, messing his pit stop up for the second time this season, is in 6th. Yunt is in 7th. Matazewski 8th. Emmanuel Gazella, after again having a mix-up in his pit stop, is in 9th. Mike Bell is in 10th. Alexander Lortz in 11th. Alexander Vandervoort in 12th. Reese Gardner 13th. Amaral 14th. Toby Davis sets the fast lap of the race. A 1:24.850, which is a stunningly fast lap. Doway Tapper 15th. Chris Butcher 16th. David Carter 17th. Rob Mason 18th. 19th is Mate Orban. 20th is Steve Travers. Stefan Kosabek is 21st. Marcello Tocco 22nd. Ockercliff 23rd. And Dalmash Demelin 24th. And the last of the running cars is Dylan Canton. So we are going to go back to the front of this race as Giuseppe Ranieri runs at 1:25.000. Looks like he hit the slot machine win. But he is at 2.2 seconds clear of Robert Wiesenmuller, followed by Andrew Waring, who is 6/10 back of him. We were waiting to see if these guys can close. We have 9 laps remaining. McNaughton is closing on the back of Waring, and Lewis McGlade is in a quiet 5th place, which is a great result. Davis is 10.6, and that is where people have kind of wound up. So while it's quieted down a little bit, I would just like to take this time to also mention again that the next race for Virtual Carrera Cup is coming up this weekend. Be sure to tune in. 6 o'clock GMT. It is the same channel. It'll be usual places. And be sure to make sure you tune in. It's going to be a fantastic race from Adelaide. And you will not want to miss one bit of it. So that's this Saturday coming up at 6 GMT. Back to the action. Not too much has changed here, as Wiesenmuller is 2 full seconds back, as lap traffic did a great job to get clear there of the leading drivers there. Oh, both run very, very wide. Done very well, those two, to maintain closeness, but McNaughton getting a pole position, and McGlade makes a small error there. Davis 6th. Yunt, I think there's a small battle. No, I don't believe there's a battle anywhere. So what we have in terms of team is we have Giuseppe Ranieri leading the race, walk racing. THR in 2nd. ASR in 3rd for Andrew Waring, his first race here in the series. Adrian McNaughton is THR. Lewis McGlade is in 5th. Toby Davis, THR. Sorry, Lewis McGlade is Smile Power. Davis is THR. Yunt in 7th is also THR. Matazewski is THR as well. Emmanuel Gazella walk racing. Mike Bell is Smile Power. So that is your top 10 run there. And I'm just looking at the lap time there. 1:25.6 of Ranieri is a fair bit slower, but it is getting later on in this race here. So Giuseppe Ranieri has done a great job coming into TPS here. He's had kind of an up and down, a little bit of an up and down. So he joined for Virtual Super Tours for walk racing. So far he's competed in 5 races if you count the one that just happened. So in his 5 races, he has a pole position at Donington, first race, finished in 9th, qualified in 6th in race 2 at Donington, finished 3rd. So a little better, more consistent result. But Oulton Park was a very tough event for him. 14th and 12th qualifying positions with race finishes of 21st and 11th. So clearly Oulton Park did not agree with the driver and his style. But here at Croft, qualifying 5th in the first race and finishing 2nd in the race after a tough battle with Toby Davis. And also, there was a lot of penalty points given at Oulton Park for Ranieri. He actually ended up, with negative points for both of the races. So, it's hard to judge without more results to draw from on form and what to expect. However, it seems that there could be either kind of win or bust kind of thing. So that will be determined more as obviously more races get under Giuseppe Ranieri's belt. But nonetheless, this is a fantastic drive here from the newcomer to the Touring Pro Series circuit as he leads on the 29th lap here from the 3rd event in this series in the 2nd race. Doesn't show signs of slowing up, but I mean, commentators curse can sometimes cause those things, and I don't want to cause that for anybody. I really don't. I actually hate when that happens, but it is a little bit of feast or famine for Ranieri, and I'm sure he will want to just keep that all together here and take that feast and just dig into that big meal that he's got ahead of him just 5 laps from now. So Wiesemuller crosses the line. Still, the gap stays exactly the same. Waring has now dropped off the back of Wiesemuller and is now being caught by the Walk Racing driver, Adrian McNaughton. So the gap is closing to them. Waring more than likely probably has worn his tires out, but I see a battle here between Lauritsen and Bell as we hop on board Lauritsen. Lauritsen is now behind Bell, just coming out of the final corner. That is a THR driver for Lauritsen and a Smile Power Racing for Mike Bell. Starting the 30th lap, these guys are in 10th and 11th, so this is the battle for 10th position. There's quite a ways back of the driver, Emmanuel Gazella, who's just ahead. You can see different lines coming through there. Lauritsen's got a great run off that corner. Can't quite squeeze it because it's a long sunny in, sunny out. It's a very, excuse me. Sorry, that's Hawthorne and Chicane. It's a very, very long right-hander. It's very difficult to maneuver yourself to the inside there. So Mike Bell is a very, very tough defender. We will see that. We will see that. We have seen that this season. But Lauritsen is a very tough racer as well. I've known him since his infancy racing days in Touring Pro Series back in the American Touring Car Championship when he was very, very young at that age, when he was racing. It seems like just yesterday, but has competed in a ton of Touring Pro Series races and also races in real life as well, and he's doing quite well. So Lauritsen will be looking for a way by Bell here. Late stages in this race, but ahead I'm watching the gaps and not too much has changed in the way of where people are lined up. Ranieri runs a 1:25.0, so he made a mistake in the last lap and then compensates by going ahead and running a half a second faster than the lap prior to keep his gap down. And Wiesemuller is running the same laps as well, and it's probably extremely frustrating to know that he's probably looking at his timing and seeing that he can't gain any time after doing great laps. Oh, to the outside into turn 1. Alexander Lauritsen trying to go around the outside of Mike Bell through turn 2. Contact. Bell still to the inside. Lauritsen still holding the outside. Can he do it? No. Bell holds onto that position. Very tough to do when it's such a long right-hander. Lauritsen trying to do it, though, in any way he can to make up a position here late in this race in the 31st lap. With 4 laps to go. Lauritsen is still going to be, clearly has a bit of pace on him, so he's going to be trying to close back up so he can have a chance to pass. We're going to actually go to the leaders here as Giuseppe Ranieri, as I talked about Ranieri and making up for his time, he has now lost 0.8 of a second to Ranieri. I believe he'll run about a 1:26.0. So Wiesemuller combats with a 1:25.1. I don't even see his lap, but Wiesemuller at a 1:25.1 makes up 0.9 of a second in that lap. So Ranieri, a little mistake. This is a spot where the strong will and nerve has to come in to play here. It's the 32nd lap. You've done so well. You've led so many laps here after the pit stops. Focus. Get your head down. Don't look in the mirror. Hit your apexes. He's not even behind you. That's what you need to be thinking. There is nobody behind me. No one can win this race but me. And it's easy to say from here, sitting in the booth, you know, but that is exactly the mentality that you need. That is what winners are made of, and they come together in the crunch time when a situation like this comes up. So Visa Mueller does close quite a bit in the dying stages of this race. So we'll pop back and did he drop a wheel? I saw a wheel dropped, and yes, I did. Rainieri dropped another wheel as Visa Mueller closes in on the back. See, this is a sight that is very hard to get out of your head. To not think of that car that is behind you, to not think about the little mistakes you're making. This is the hardest thing to overcome in any form of racing is, you know, it's you're getting that first win, the first win nerves. You know, you've tried, and I mean, he hasn't competed in all that many races with Touring Pro Series, just 5 in fact. This is his 6th race. But in any racing, the pressure you're putting on yourself when you're leading is so great. So this is the 33rd lap. We have another 2 laps to go after this. The lap is completed. Can Rainieri hold out? Can Visa Mueller close? We're going to find out. Oh, he went a little deep there. Oh, sorry about that. He went a little deep into that corner, but he gets a good run off the corner. So I'm just going to pop back for just a moment as I see Lauritsen has made the move on on Mike Bell. Lauritsen is through on Mike Bell. So the battle we were following a little earlier, Lauritsen has made a move. It looks like it was in turn 1. So he managed to make that move work, possibly on the outside even. So unfortunately we missed that, but I'm sure it was a fantastic pass because Mike Bell has done a great job of defending in this series when he's had to. But that battle rages on as I'm going to move forward because this is closing stages and we need to see who is going to take this race win. Waring is now under severe pressure from McNaughton, and McNaughton will have in his mind a possible walk racing 1 first and third or 2 podiums depending on where they finish. Rainieri follows up that 126.0 with a 125.6, and Visa Mueller does not capitalize. As Rainieri goes wide, he drops the wheel. This is going to definitely affect his exit coming out of that corner. Visa Mueller closes just a touch as he is now 1.5, so he actually is gaining. So I'm just wondering if potentially the running wide through that section is people have picked up that they might gain time, so they just keep running wide. But nonetheless, that kind of driving does get picked up by the stewards post-race. But Rainieri still leads this race on the penultimate lap. And I don't know if Visa Mueller is going to be able to get close. But we have a lap car up just ahead. I think that's Mate Orban. I think so. I might be mistaken as they just slot through. So lap car not going to affect this battle up at the front as it's down to 1.2. Visa Mueller trying everything to close on Rainieri. But we can watch that battle on the timing screen as Waring is now under attack fully from Adrian McNaughton as they come through the complex into the hairpin for the second last time in this race. Waring gets a good run off the corner. Visa Mueller loses another 0.2 of a second, so I don't know if he's going to have anything to close in on Rainieri here to finish this race out, to take that race win. But nonetheless, a second would be a fantastic result as Waring and McNaughton are in a very, very tight battle. McNaughton trying to redeem himself from pole position in the first race, possibly taking a podium here. Waring just trying to hang on as he's clearly run his car ragged this entire race. I gotta see if anything is close. No, it looks like Rainieri has buckled down and made this happen, and he's going to take this win, barring a big error on his part. And these guys have opened up enough. I'm just going to pop here to Rainieri as they come up on some lap cars. We do not want to see We do not want to see a repeat of the last round in the Virtual Super Tours. We need them to be aware that this is the battle for the win here. Rainieri coming through the complex for the final time. He's up on some lap cars into the hairpin for the final time. Rainieri, they're not going to play. So Rainieri is going to take his first ever win in the Touring Pro Series here at Croft in the Virtual Super Tours for Walk Racing. Riesemuller is second. Third place is Andrew Waring. And Adrian McNaughton seems to, try to slide one up the inside, but he lost some time. Waring third, McNaughton fourth, McGlade is fifth, Davis sixth. Yunt is seventh. Thomas Medazewski is eighth. Ninth is Emmanuel Gazella. Okay, well, as this runs down, I'm just going to take a quick break because we've got interviews coming up. I will be right back. I'm going to leave this up so you can see the rest of the field, and we'll be back with interviews just in a moment.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Welcome back. We are live from Croft for the third round, just finishing the third round of the Virtual Super Tours. We have completed both races here. We are now just getting things closed out, and we're going to get a few words with some of the drivers. I'm just gathering a little bit of information here, and we'll have a word and find out how the racers feel things went for them. Once again, I do want to point out that this weekend we have the Virtual Carrera Cup coming up. It'll be Saturday at 6 GMT. You do not want to miss a moment. That's from Adelaide, which is an amazing track to race at. It is a lot of fun, and I've had some fun incidents there, but nevertheless, that's something that you can go through our YouTube page and go back and try to find where I managed to flip a car end over end multiple times while I was in a championship hunt. So that'll be Adelaide this weekend at 6 GMT. touringproseries.com/broadcast. So make sure you do not miss a moment of that. And it will be a great race, and I'm going to try to be there in the booth if I'm able to be away from work. So we are now just finishing out here at Croft, and I would like to have a word with. We're joined by the drivers here, and I would like to have a word with Robert Wiesemuller for, a dominant performance in race one. Rob, you just, I actually at one point I wasn't really showing you much, and I moved the camera to you for a moment, and I said, "This is just dominance," and then I just moved away because you seem to be in that zone. Like, talk to me about race one.
Yes, I think I was lucky at the start because Adrian went off in the first corner and then Toby made a mistake behind me and Sunny in.
Yes.
So I was just all on my own and I knew I had the pace and I could just do what I've done in practice, do my laps consistently, and yeah, I got the win.
Well, I mean, I know. I haven't driven these cars or anything, but there seems to be something for just not having the added attention of someone being near, because there's been a number of drivers that have got out front and just been able to kind of just put it all down. They put everything else out of your mind. Are they a lot easier to drive when you just have you don't have anyone say a second behind you?
Well, I don't think when you have someone a second behind you, I don't think it makes such a big difference. But what I found really tricky is to follow someone. Yes. Because these cars are very big and the visibility is not so good.
Okay.
So I can actually do much quicker laps when I'm driving on my own.
Okay, well, obviously, race one was ideal. Obviously, a few little mistakes, and you were able to capitalize on that. Now, in race two, talk us through. We did catch some tough racing going on. Obviously, without getting too heated, just explain how racing went on in the second race, because you took a second place. There was a little bit of contact. I didn't quite catch what had happened when Andrew Waring had went by you early on, but I did see the incident with the move to go by him. So just talk me through it.
Yeah, well, in the beginning of the race, I got shuffled back a little bit. I got first passed by Giuseppe, I think, in the hairpin in the first sector, or the second sector. And then Andrew tried in the final corner first, made a bit of contact. I could fend him off. And next lap, he tried it again. Passed me and just shoved me a little bit wide, and that's how he got the position. And then I was following Andrew and Giuseppe and Emmanuel, and I made a few mistakes early on for the pit stop, but after the pit stop, my car felt really good. I was catching up to Andrew again, and he was clearly slower than me, and then I tried to pass him in the final hairpin, and I mean, you could probably see the result. I did make contact with him, kind of pushed him out of the way. But, I wanted to take the win, and sometimes you gotta attack, and
of course,
it was not the cleanest move. If I get a penalty, then I guess it's fair, because it was not clean, but I wanted to win.
Well, no, and I understand. I mean, if it's very easy to, like I even pointed on that, I commented on that during the broadcast, was that you're either better to stay together, not make a move, or if you realize you're losing time because of the guy in front, you've got to get by. Otherwise, the race win slips out of your hands. And at the end of the day, when you get on that racetrack, you're not racing for second place. You're racing for the win in any type of race. So I understand what you're saying. Obviously, it will be in the steward's hands, but two great results, Rob, and some great racing, and well done today.
Thanks.
Seeing as I don't have, none of the walk racing guys have entered the booth, which I would have loved to have talked to Giuseppe Ranieri, and even Adrian McNaughton and that. But if you guys watch the broadcast back, be sure for future races to make sure you get to the booth, because it's always good to get a word in, and you gotta promote the team. So, anyways, we are. I am joined by Andrew Waring, who has just made a return to some fun touring car racing. Andrew, my fellow Canadian, talk us through what was going on in race one.
Race one is just really difficult to get by Gonzalez. He basically, he didn't held me up because he was in front of me, but he's just a wall on the track. And every time I get by him, I'd make a mistake, fall back, and then it eventually just the damage builds up on your car and the tire wear suffers. So it's pretty disappointing in race one, even to get sixth. Just because bad qualifying, but race two is a lot better.
Well, I mean, yeah, race one was a lot of battling going on, and you could definitely see that the tire wear plays into effect. And I was commenting on how you're a very aggressive driver, and it does play into your pace, but it also affects overall, the way the car performs over a race. But in race two, you were flying, and it just kind of it seemed like you hit a wall at one point, and then there was no coming back from that. But talk us through, like, you did take advantage of the early pit stop, which was great. Just tell me how the race went for you.
Well, Robert and I were just stuck. I feel like him and I had definitely had the pace to either hunt down Giuseppe or even Toby, but again, we were just stuck behind Gonzalez. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna undercut him for sure. So I kind of maybe pitted a little bit too early, but actually my tire was pretty good, as long as there's no damage. And when we got out, I was held up a little bit by some people on my out lap, so I couldn't really get in front of Giuseppe like I planned. But Robert and I were doing good, and then when he passed me, I understand he's fighting for the championship, but I got some pretty bad damage from that, and I was able to stay behind him, and then eventually the damage just took over, and I can't do anything about that. So
Of course, yeah, and I mean there was some paint shared both, kind of
yeah,
jointly, and it doesn't condone one or the other. However,
no.
his move we caught completely on screen, and I think now, mind
I
you,
would say
I
I
know
would even say it's a fair move. It's not like
yeah,
it's the only place to pass in the whole track. And I mean,
yeah,
he just felt like he hit me twice. And when he first hit me, it just kind of shot the car facing out of the apex. I mean, if he hit me once, fine. I know I
yeah.
hit him, but overall, he's fighting for a championship. I'm just here to have fun. So it's fine
Yep.
with me.
Well, it was good to see you back on track, Andrew. Hopefully you can stick around for a little while instead of doing a race and disappearing for 10 months.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. So, anyways, well done today, Andrew. Two decent results. Now I have I'm kind of limited in my interviews here, but I have Lewis McGlade, Smile Power, couple of decent results today. Third, you got a third place in race one, and you got a fifth in race two. I mean, I think at one point in the broadcast I said just having a quiet run, because it didn't seem like there was too much incident for you in race one, and also even in race two. Like I know you were in a few battles, but just talk me through race one first.
Yeah, it was a fairly quiet race. It's a bit like the race one at Alton Park. Just keep it to myself and letting everyone else make the mistakes. I didn't have a great qualifying. It was all right. I got into the top 10 and built from there, and had a few people go off. Had the scrap in front of me that I didn't really know what was going on, and obviously the incident with Toby at the end of the race. He said that he lifted. He did lift. I saw that. It was just one of those moves. He's fighting hard for podium. I'm fighting hard for podium. There was just an incident. It was probably going to happen, and I respect Toby for lifting out of it. So a lot of respect there, and it was a good race. I had fun. Got another podium, my second podium in
Yeah, no,
TPS.
Amazing, Lewis. And you now, I actually found something out after the last race, because I was commending on your just kind of to me just kind of popped up all of a sudden, like Lewis McGlade, like he's always there. You got a racing wheel.
I did, yeah. Last season of like the TPS that I did, which was back in VMC, VCC,
Yes.
VSS, I was running off an Xbox controller, and
Yes.
the move to the wheel was not smooth. I did not have a great time with it. I had to work over a year's time, or basically over the last 6 to 10 months, getting
Yes.
used to the wheel. And I feel finally, we've gotten here into these cars. I'm putting in probably 300 laps of practice per event and getting used to the wheel in these cars, and it's clearly paying off.
Well, I mean, and honestly, I commend you, because it shows, like the work you've put in shows. Because when I'll be honest, I wasn't too familiar with your name and the racing, so I went through your results and history and just kind of deduced something myself that, okay, he's really put some time in, or he's got some help with some driving. But that makes a lot of sense. A gamepad to a wheel, it's night and day. It's
Yeah.
and clearly it's showing, because you're getting the results, you're getting consistent results. And you're getting some good runs here, and you're currently sitting fourth after these results. You are sitting in fourth position in the championship. So obviously these are provisional with the two races. You got to be happy with that. I mean, you've been constantly at the front, and I'm sure you're looking forward to more racing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year. There's obviously a few problems with VST. My biggest problem being some of the back markers, they do get in the way and it's quite annoying. But there's not really too much the admin team can do about it unless we report. So
Yeah.
that'll be dealt with. That's something which I'm not looking forward to next year. But it's my last season at the moment with Smile. So I'm looking to make the most of it.
Yes.
Whilst I'm good in the car, hopefully get a few more podiums. And I don't think it's quite possible, but you never really know. But maybe the win, if the right circumstances appear in front of me, be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it wouldn't be far off, and it definitely is something that I could see happening this season. So, wish you the best of luck, and well done today on 2 good results. I'm gonna end the interviews here. I really wanted to speak with some of the walk guys just because I actually haven't spoken with any of them, and I'd like to know where these guys are. However, they did not show up for a post-race interview, and I've always been one to think that for administration purposes that a post-race interview, you should be always available. It should be mandatory, and if you miss, you get a penalty. But that is just me. We possibly implement into the rules later on, but the reason is that you need to find out the driver's perspective, especially if you're going to put all the effort into the broadcast. However, we are now going to be closing things out. You have on this terrain, obviously, for this entire time, we have the driver standings as of now. Also, Toby Davis did decline doing an interview for this. I can understand he's probably extremely frustrated. He would not want to be asked the same question as he did at Donington, especially when it's such a simple mistake. However, still leads a championship. He's ahead by 18 points. This is a very interesting championship, and Toby just needs to stop making little mistakes, and I think if he can consistently keep doing this, he will do very well and possibly win this championship. John Monroe was unavailable for this race. Lewis McGlade showing great promise here, sitting 4th in the championship. Matazewski in 5th. Richard 6th. Lauritsen tied for 6th. Both of those drivers have missed a round now. Giuseppe Ranieri, after winning the second race and getting 2 fantastic results, is in 8th. Gazella 9th. 10th is McNaughton. So that is your championship standings. I'm just going to quickly give you the one more time, tell you to be sure to tune in to the Virtual Carrera Cup, which is this Saturday. I know I've said it a number of times, but you cannot miss it. It is 6 o'clock GMT, and it will be live from Adelaide for the Virtual Carrera Cup, which has been fantastic, by the way. And if you haven't seen the last race, be sure to go to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/touringproseries and watch the last round, because you won't believe. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but the second race was incredible. So it was so good. I'm trying to get out of work so I can commentate with the guys for that race. So anyways, it's been a pleasure, and always fun being here for Virtual Super Tours. 2 weeks time, we will be back from Snetterton for the 4th round of this championship. So please be sure to tune in, both this Saturday and the two Wednesdays from now. And be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/touringproseries. And also go to our, 3 weeks to Snetterton because of Christmas. I forgot, that Christmas thing's right in the way. So I'm now rambling because I'm getting hungry and tired. I would just like to say thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys soon.